Do you ever get frustrated when a patient gets frustrated at you about something that you feel like maybe they should already know or be aware of? This has happened to me a few times in the last couple of weeks where we go to do something simple, like place an attachment on an anterior tooth in an Invisalign case, and the patient literally freaks out about it. And I always feel so bad when that happens because we spend so much time at their new patient appointment explaining to them in great detail that we put attachments on pretty much every single tooth in their mouth, and that there's no way to avoid them being on the front teeth, and that if they actually want their teeth to end up in the right place, they're going to have to be there. And yet people don't hear all of those words, they don't pay attention to those things, and then they still get super duper upset. And whenever something like this happens where I feel icky or bad and I know it could have been better than that, I'm always just looking for what's the best way to tackle that so that we don't have to feel icky or bad and the patient doesn't have to be upset about something in the future. And that usually comes down ultimately to making sure that we are doing our very best job to fully inform and educate our patients every step of the way. And that might mean in our office, something as simple as when we take a scan for a refinement, saying to the patient, when you come back next time and we're going to put more attachments on your teeth, there may be a few put on your front teeth so that it's not a surprise for them when they actually come in for that, because otherwise they assume that we're just going to keep doing more of the same. I have another good example for you that is not orthodontic, just because I know that many of you are general dentists. This comes to that fact of people being upset and then feeling like you have a requirement maybe to do something for free or to redo something for free. And I don't think you should ever really have to do that. And people being frustrated about things, this all links together. So let's think about maybe the potential for a crown needing to be redone in the future. So you do a crown, a patient comes back, I don't know, let's say 3 years later, and they're very, very frustrated. They're mad at you. They're making a big scene about it, that their crown has failed, and that you have to do something about it. And basically they're expecting you to replace that crown for free. First of all, I don't think you should have to replace the crown for free, unless, of course, you have some kind of explicit guarantee on crowns in your office that you've explained to the patient, saying that we guarantee all of our crowns for 5 years. I would guess you'd have a caveat like you must come for all of your 6-month checkups for that to be the case. So if they fall under that, then, fine, you're redoing the crown for free because you've already agreed to do that. But barring that, you shouldn't have to do the crown for free, which means you need to think back to what was explained to them prior to the crown being placed. So setting them up for all potential sideways moments that could happen in the future, so that when one of those very likely things happens down the line, they're not mad and frustrated at you because they weren't expecting it. Now, of course, we can't guarantee people will remember everything, but if you can put it in writing, in an email, and verbally explain it to them, you've got a way better chance of them hearing you, or at least being able to go back and refresh their memory. So telling them things like, we expect our crowns to last for X period of time. The best way to maintain your crown to last for that long or longer is to do X, Y, and Z. We guarantee our crowns for 5 years if you come to all of your checkups in our office every 6 months, or whatever that is. So you need to give them as much information as you possibly can and explain that there will be more charges in the future should things need to be done. It's okay to say to them, if you were to get your crown today and then not come back and see us for 3 years and return in 3 years and your crown is failing and you need a new one, we would have to charge you the full price for that new crown. Ta-da! Right? Then they know they have to pay for a new crown in the future. Like I said, unless you have some type of guarantee, warranty, whatever, that you've laid out for them specifically, which I think is a great idea. It's a huge practice builder to do that, but you have to do that and explain it well and how that all works, or you have to explain all of the potential things that could happen down the line and if there would be costs associated with that. If you set them up to understand that there will be additional fees later, then they're not nearly as frustrated by it when additional fees come up later. But if there's never been any discussion about what long-term maintenance looks like, about how long they can expect these things to last, on how often they should have to replace it, on how much out of pocket that might cost them, then of course it's a bit of a shocker for them. So provide exceptional customer service by making sure that they know exactly what they're getting, how long it should last, what costs they can expect down the line, any potential consequence. I mean, this is informed consent, but like any potential consequences down the road, things that can go sideways, but make sure if there's money associated with those things that you've explained that to them. And then you don't have to do things for free because there's no reason to do them for free. So don't feel obligated to do so. Just make sure that you've taken the time to make sure that that education process at the beginning is super duper good, and then you're home free. And so that's my advice to you. If people are getting frustrated about things that are happening in your practice and you're not exactly sure what's happening, think back to how much information you're actually providing to them in the moment of that service. Or if it's been a while since you've done something and you're going to do it again, can you give them more information? Can you set them up for success so that there are no surprises? Tell them what to expect, tell them potential risks, and then there are no surprises and there's no reason for them to get upset. See if it works for you. Bye-bye.